Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
8:07, we're here, we're ready, we're jacked up on candy corn from last night, and we have on the line Representative Marsha Blackburn from the great state of Tennessee. She serves on the House Energy Committee, and that brings us to the topic of Solyndra, and yet now another green company that apparently has gone bankrupt. Congresswoman Blackburn, tell me a little bit about this company known as Beacon Power Corporation.
Right. Beacon Power Company was the second company to get one of the DOE loan guarantees, and they are an energy storage company. And it seems that they have filed for bankruptcy. They did it over this week. There is a $43 million loan that is out there for Beacon, so not the numbers that we're looking at with Solyndra. And what we know is supposedly they have $72 million in assets and $47 million in debt. So we will get in behind this one starting today and again look at the process that is in place and again use this as a reason to pull every single one of these loans and to go back through the vetting process that was used and see what went terribly wrong with this program.
Some have suggested the problem here is that the Obama administration was basically getting involved in trying to back companies and help companies that were green, but didn't really do the due diligence that you would do if you were in the private sector to find out whether these companies could actually survive.
Well, and that is some of the opinions that we have started to see developing as we've done these hearings. You know, if you were looking at something, if you were a VC firm and you were looking at these companies, would you say yay or nay? And when you look at the case of Solyndra, where you have career analysts who said, look, if you look at their liquidity issues, their burn rate, and the potential for market share, this company's going to be bankrupt by 2011, September 2011. And indeed, that's when Solyndra filed for bankruptcy. So there is a growing concern that the government and this administration was actively involved in picking winners and losers and choosing these companies. You know, Brian, the thing is this. I have never met anybody that wants to pay more when they get their electric bill and gas bill every month. Never have. But the issue is we cannot continue these subsidy programs for experiments for concepts that are not commercially viable.
Now, when the Solyndra thing broke, we heard about this billions of dollars that was about to go out the door in the next month from DOE. In the intervening month, has that all left the building, and we're going to have to do backtracking on that now?
It has left the building. We did try to stop that money from going out the door, and we were unsuccessful in doing that. And saying we, I mean the Republicans on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. We were we did our best to stop that, to put a halt, to stay the program until we could get into the middle of the program and see what went wrong with Solyndra and thereby what was wrong with the entire makeup of this program. And Mary Catherine, what we heard was that they had already approved all of these loans. All the paperwork had been finished. The money was heading out the door. Now, what we have learned is that one of those loans went to a company that Nancy Pelosi's brother-in-law is a part of, and another of the loans went to a company with George Miller's son was a part of it. So again, you're beginning to hear that the government stepped in and chose winners and losers. And what people are saying, look, if it is a concept that is going to save money, time, effort, energy, if it is something that needs a boost that is commercially viable, that might be a role for government. But right now, we are a government that basically is broke.
No.
We're borrowing 42 cents of every dollar we spend. We don't have the money to put into this type program and these type loan guarantees, and especially those where the first two companies that were awarded these loan guarantees have now filed for bankruptcy.
Now, with Beacon, they've filed for bankruptcy and are going to try to reorganize and continue to operate.
Correct.
Does that mean there's a better chance of taxpayers seeing some of their money back in this case?
Well, I would certainly hope that it means there is a better chance. We don't have any of the particulars yet.
Okay.
I feel like that this week, as we go to committee, and we do have a hearing set this week, that we'll have more of those details.
Okay. So with Congressman Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee. So we got 23 days until the super committee has to come up with their $1.2 trillion worth of spending cuts. What's the word? What's the buzz on Capitol Hill? Will they actually come up with something, or is this deadline going to be extended?
I think they're going to come up with something. I know that they're working hard. There are lots of good ideas on the table. I had lots of ideas that came from my district. I said I would sign one letter to the super committee, and it would be the letter of recommendations from Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. And people would like, and in that there are some good ideas, sending Medicaid back to the states, making certain that some of the programs that have outlived their usefulness are ended. We had individuals send some of the specifics in. An idea that I have looked at many times, and even going back to my state Senate days, doing across-the-board spending reductions on discretionary items, and using that as a way to help government find a new normal, if you will, and go through a right-sizing process. So lots of good ideas that are out there. People do not want to see taxes increased. They do not want anything that is going to expand the size and scope of the federal government. They want to spend less.
Right.
And they want to make certain that the size is being reduced.
In Tennessee, you're known for country music, and you also make great guitars there at the Gibson Guitar Factories are in Nashville and Memphis. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife people have been all over Gibson of late. And is it fair what they are doing to this company, in your estimation?
Well, it's one of those things of selective and excessive enforcement is what it is. It's an issue over wood that is imported. And instead of working with the exporter and the importer here and other companies that also import this rosewood from India, what they decided to do was take in armed agents from Fish and Wildlife and Homeland Security and go raid Gibson to get a pallet of wood. I mean, it is so over the top. Now, bear in mind, they didn't go raid other guitar manufacturers who import the same wood. They only raided Gibson. So this selective enforcement issue, people are not happy with. I'm hearing a lot from people all around the country who are very concerned about this. And quite interestingly, not only people that make guitars, but other musical instruments, people that make furniture, that do high-end cabinetry, they all import rosewood, ebony, mahogany, different exotic woods to work into their designs, and they're going, wait a minute, tell me why, if this happened to Gibson, it could happen to me. What's the real deal on this? So if there's a problem with the Lacey Act, which is at the center of this, you get everybody that is in this loop, and you say, we think there is a problem, we're trying to identify it, please be advised. But no, they don't have, DHS doesn't have agents they can put down on the border and try to seal the border, but they sure could find armed agents to send into Gibson and get that pallet of wood.
All right, Congresswoman Blackburn, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks very much.